Right, LT230 gear sets. There's quite a few choices of gear sets to go through and quite a few gear sets that were produced. We're not going to talk about all the different suffixes, the past history of LT230 gear sets, all the oddball stuff. We're going to keep it real simple for the everyday stuff and everyday choices that present ourselves when picking the right ratio for your LT230. So if you want to go through really in depth, we can take all the data, we can take your tyre sizes, we can take your gearbox ratios, your intended use, the engine that you're going to run. If you want to go through that and go through everything so we get the absolute perfect gear set for your Defender, hit me up, email me, phone me, whatever, shout me out on social media. Say, Tom, I want to discuss my LT230 gear set, and we'll go through it and we'll make sure we've got the perfect one. But we can cover loads in this video to keep things real simple. So here we've got the 1.6 ratio, the 1.4 ratio, the 1.3 ratio, the 1.2 ratio, the 1.1 ratio, and the 1.003 ratio. There was one other ratio that is available, it's the 0.9, it's the highest ratio available for all the LT230s, but it can only be fit to a Cummins powered Defender with a ZF gearbox in it, because it's got a special input gear that suits the ZF gearbox, not the Spicer, nothing else, just the Cummins for the ZF. It's a great gear set if you are running a Cummins with a ZF gearbox, fit the 0.9. Okay, so the 1.6 is the lowest ratio of them all for off-road use only. Unless you are going to be only getting up to 40 mile an hour on the road, towing a trailer that weighs 8 tons, avoid the 1.6. Keep it just for the off-road boys. The Winch Challenge trucks love it. The Comp Safaris, they like it. Loads of power in those lower gears, right down at the bottom. Could literally climb a mountain with that thing, but it's no good for on the road. You simply be revving its tits off once you get past 40 mile an hour. 1.4, the standard ratio to all 200 TDIs, 300 TDIs and TD5 Defenders. Brilliant gear set, absolutely perfect for a Defender that's doing its everyday job, which is towing the trailers, trundling around the countryside, hitting the B roads, pulling a caravan, and overlanding with a really heavy Defender. If you're going to be hitting the motorway, cruising long distances, anything above 60 mile an hour, the 1.4 is no good for you. Once you get past 60 mile an hour, the revs are screaming and its fuel consumption is diabolical, and it'll get really hot. So it is designed for what a Defender was originally used for, just trundling around the farm, towing a trailer, and not getting past 60 mile an hour. 1.3, this is an Ashcroft special, and I'll talk to you more about the relationship between the 1.4, the 1.3 and the 1.2, because those are the ones to choose from on your everyday Defender. So we'll quickly skip past the 1.3. 1.2, that was originally from the Discovery 1. It was also fitted to the Discovery 2, but in the form of a 1.21 gear set. I'll show you about that in a minute. There's going to be loads of numbers. Please try and stick with me. It's so difficult to try and go through all these ratios and what's best for you. So please try and just stick with me. 1.2 ratio, as I said, Discovery gear sets, V8 Defenders, fitted to the TDCI Defenders, but again it was the 1.21 ratio. 1.1, another Ashcroft special, really good idea, sits a bit higher than that 1.2 and lower than the 1.003. And finally, the highest ratio that you can fit to an everyday Defender, 1.003. Okay, bear with me. This is a 1.21 gear set. Can you see how fine the teeth are on it? Really fine teeth. This is the same ratio as this here. This is the 1.22, this is the 1.21, 0.01 of a difference. You will never ever notice that difference in driving, and here's why they did it. So this is called the 1.21, and it was the Q gears. Quiet, it's a more refined gear set. It's got more teeth, more contact pattern. It runs quieter than the original 1.22. However, it's considerably weaker than the 1.22. We don't use these 1.21s in any of our stage boxes. We only use the 1.22s because they just simply can't handle a high powered engine. So anyone who's running a BMW conversion, anyone who's put an LS3 in there, LT1, anything that's beyond the ordinary of a Defender engine, the 1.21 just simply isn't strong enough. It's fine in your TD5 as long as it's not mapped to 300 brake horse, and it's fine in a TDCi. It's a really nice gear set, runs really nice and quiet, but it isn't quite as strong. It's just more refined. So when I talk about 1.2s, it's the same ratio. One's just stronger and a little less refined. One is a little bit more refined, meaning quieter, but not as strong. So that's that. 1.003, highest ratio available, lowest RPMs at highest speed. However, when we go higher in ratio, we lose bottom end torque. So yeah, this will be the best cruising RPM to speed ratio available, but you're going to really struggle to set off in lower gears unless you've got the torque to pull it. 1.003 is, I think, the best option for the BMW M57 boys who are running 300 plus brake horsepower and not running massive tyres. Road use, road gear set, great with the 8-speed box. That's my personal choice for that. As well as any of the 10-speed auto boxes that the LT1s are running, and even the 8-speed boxes that the LS3s are running as well. Not for anything manual. The automatic with plenty of gears and the bigger V8s and high-powered diesels, M57s and N57s. Same with the 1.1 as well. The 1.1 is slightly lower, but it's a great gear set to use if you've got a TDCi Defender that you want to gear up a little bit. So you're just using your TDCi on just the highways, just the motorways, cruising all the time in it. 1.1 will drop those RPMs down a little bit as compared to the standard 1.2 ratio. So 1.1 is great for TDCis, it's great for BMW M57s, it's great for LS3s and LT1s as well. Moving further down is the 1.2. Can literally be used in anything. Great upgrade in a Defender TD5. A Defender TD5 will pull a 1.2 no problem at all, and you'll be able to cruise at 70-80 miles an hour no problem with a 1.2. Get rid of that 1.4 gear set in your Defender TD5 if you're only using it on the road, you're not carrying loads of weight, you're rarely towing a trailer, you're literally shooting up and down the motorways, touring, flying over Europe or wherever, doing loads of mileage. Get rid of the 1.4, go for the 1.2. With a good map on it, it'll pull it no problem. In my opinion, it's too high for the TDI because it's not got as much power as the TD5. So putting that in a 300 TDI or a 200 TDI, be a little bit careful because it will get very sluggish when setting off in first gear, and getting up the rev range in first and second will be a little bit painful compared to the 1.4. The 1.3 ratio, the Ashcroft Special, great in between if you can't choose between the 1.4 and the 1.2. In a TDI, I think it's the best possible option you can get. So the 200 TDI and the 300 TDI that haven't got enough power to pull a 1.2 ratio, but really want to be geared up from the 1.4 ratio. So again, you're not using it for towing a trailer, towing a caravan, you're doing plenty of commuting in it, you want to drop those RPMs down a little bit, the 1.3 is a really good option for that. Also a good idea in a TD5 if you can't decide between the 1.4 and the 1.2. However, don't be put off by putting a 1.2 in a TD5 with a good map on it. It's going to pull it no problem. 1.4 standard in all 200 TDIs, 300 TDIs and TD5s. If you're using your Defender for what it was intended for, 1.4 in my opinion is the best gear set for that. I love the TD590 with a 1.4 gear set in it. I think it's the most fun Defender you can possibly have. Flying around those country roads, flying around the bends, nice map on it with a 1.4, pulls wicked. But as soon as you get on the motorway, get past 60 mile an hour, you're screaming. So if you're only going on the motorway now and then, stick with the 1.4, but if you are commuting a lot in it, go for the 1.2 or the 1.3. 1.6, as discussed, is only for the off-road boys, unless you're pulling a trailer with ridiculous weight on it and don't plan on going above 40-50 mile an hour, leave the 1.6 alone. So 1.6, 1.4, 1.3, 1.2, 1.1, 1.003. Quite a lot to take in there, so like I say, if you're not 100% sure, just send an email, try and get me on the phone, just give me a shout, say, Tom, I want to discuss my ratio for my Defender, and we'll go through it and make the best choice for you. So hopefully that helps a few people make some decisions on there. Thanks for watching.